We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2147. Today, Jill and I are talking about how to stay motivated when you're not seeing results yet.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Great topic.
Well, let's pause for just a second. If in anything that you're doing, Jack, what are ways that you motivate yourself?
They're different from the ways you motivate yourself.
I know
that for sure.
That's what I want to know what yours are. How does a data nut motivate themselves?
You know, I have an innate, natural, I'm born with it interest in getting to the bottom of things and making sure that whatever theory I've developed, like for instance, I think it's great. Western New Jersey might be a great place to send mail. For whatever reason, I've developed this theory because I've looked at resources on the internet. I have to prove that. And it's not hard for me. It doesn't fall into motivation or confidence or any of that stuff.
So, but like if you see whatever you're trying to do is solving a problem.
Yeah.
That's motivation. Okay. And then when you solve the problem, like I get not a perfect mailer, which is true, that doesn't exist, but I've got a great mailer ready to go. I have now I really understand this area of this mailer, fill in the blank. That's motivating to you. And that's what pushes you forward.
Yeah. And that's success.
That's good.
This is good. Let's follow that through because when I send a bunch of mail out, it's all priced and we start getting a lot of responses back. Even if they're negative, I know how it's going to go. It's getting responded to. Mm-hmm. So I know the negative feedback, just the hate's going to happen for just a brief moment when the mail starts to hit the recipients. Then there's going to be people that are interested, but they're not sure. And then probably a week later, there are going to be people that want to do a deal with you. And so that's a huge a figurative pat on my back for myself. And that's most of the time it goes that way. I think that there are people that don't see that as success. I stay motivated when I continually send out mail, we continually do deals, and you're busy.
It's true.
You and your staff are busy.
Mm-hmm. This is good. Well, I'll share mine when we get into the topic. How's that? Or do you want me to share it now?
No. And my point here is before we move into the topic is how people define, in the title, it says when you're staying motivated when you're not seeing results yet. Mm-hmm. You're not seeing results because you haven't sent a mailer out yet. That's it. Or
you haven't sold it. You haven't bought it. There could be lots of different stages through this too. You have to stay motivated all the way to the bank account.
So much to say. Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum. Take a deep dive into land-related topics by your request.
Okay. Mark wrote, is there much value at all in pursuing a landlocked property? I received a signed offer back on a 1-acre property in Greenville, Tennessee that's completely landlocked. See image below. Owner is not aware of an easement and the contract price is $6,000 and the lowest sold price for a 1-acre lot with access and road frontage in the past 12 months in the area is $45,000. I'm pretty sure I can get the price down to like $3,000. But is there even a market at all? The low-hanging fruit is the adjacent owners, and I think I will at least pursue them. But aside from that, it's not. Is it not worth it at any price?
I cut my teeth and started this company in the early 90s on accessless property. The theory was this: at $100 an acre all over the Southwest is my acquisition price for any property. Mm-hmm. The bigger, the better. And because I know I can auction it off on the internet for $200 an acre. And I did thousands and thousands and thousands of those deals. So is there a market? That's the question. Heck yes. Is it the same business model that we have now? Absolutely not.
True.
If you want to buy for 30 or 40 or 50 and sell for 90, 100, which is a typical deal for us, or buy for 150 and sell for 300, we're doing more and more deals like that lately. You need to have access.
True.
But buying for $3,000 and selling for $6,000, if you're interested in that, buying property that has no access, that will happen. Mm-hmm. And here's why. You throw that thing on the MLS or you put it on Facebook Marketplace or however you sell property, it's 40 acres. We would buy 40 acres regularly in Arizona for $4,000 and sell them for $8,000. Nobody cared. No one ever heard of a 40-acre property for $8,000. So there's a huge market. I can tell you that Jill and I make 10 times the money that I made back then with this model, which is the Land Academy model. So there's a market. You have to decide if that's the business you want to be in.
Well said.
Today's topic, how to stay motivated when you're not seeing results. Julie, I think you had stuff you wanted to say.
Well, I was asking you how you stay motivated, and I was just thinking about you need to, where do you think the results occur? I mean, there's stages of this. You have to, the first stage is obviously deciding you're going to do this. You're going to be an investor and you're going to, wake up tomorrow, put that hat on. This is what I'm doing.
Can I tell a story?
Sure.
This is an unrelated story. Jill and I bought about 3 years ago a Newmar Dutch Star, which is a large Class A, pretty high-end Class A RV. And for the last 2 summers, we've been driving around the country looking at land, staying in small towns, assessing markets, buying property there, selling it, and all of that. So with all RVs, and I didn't know this when I started, there are forums on the internet, just like we have with the Discord Land Academy forum, on Facebook and all kinds of places about where people can go in who have like mindset. And with a large RV like that in the middle of nowhere, you'd have to rely on yourself and these forums when stuff goes wrong. And so it's a cult. I woke up this morning, the slide won't go in. I woke up this morning, our heat doesn't work any longer. And it's problem solving and there's all kinds of things that go on to go through your average life. Yep. Turns out, I didn't know this till we bought this thing. Jill and I enjoy that. Oh. We enjoy working through, it's not a Toyota. It's not a Ford F-150. You don't just turn the key for 10 straight years and have to do nothing to that car except change oil and put gas in it. And so the like-kind people in these communities, I have noticed over the years, are pilots, STEM people, retired engineers, software engineers, auto mechanics. They're technical people, men and women, that aren't afraid to have a problem and take the back seat out and dig through the whole thing, take the pumps out and all of that, look at it, find the problem, put it all back in, and pat yourself on the back and have a beer. And that's a regular week for us. And these are good RVs. We've had bad RVs where you're stranded. These are good RVs. If you don't have that type of personality, and believe me, people buy these $500,000 rigs, go on the forum and say, I turn the key and it doesn't work. This is a pile of crap. I hate this. I'm selling it. That's all it takes is one experience for something not to work. All the systems, think about all the plumbing and electrical and systems that are in a rig like that, or an airplane or a boat. Jill's a pilot, and I have a lot of marine experience.
And an accounting background.
We're used to breaking down. Yeah. We're used to solving problems on the fly and fixing it. Buying and selling land is no different. I don't need motivation. My little successes in solving problems along the way is the motivation that I need.
I need motivation.
I know you do. like some brownies.
Well, or no, I was going to say so that was a good story. Thank you.
That's Jill's way of saying, I'm glad it's over.
I'm trying to extract how I can apply that to this. How would I apply that to this?
I'm going to be real clear. There's all kinds of tiny little things that go on in this business and every single other business you will ever get involved in as a leader. I don't care if you're a manager, an owner, or any of it. There's an operations component to all of this stuff.
True.
Some of it, you either embrace it and you solve the little problems as you go so that you can cash your check at the end, or that's it. And I'll give you another example. I've said this a million times on this show. I have purchased and given away about 10 guitars in my life. I'm about to do it again.
And that goes with every RV trip, by the way.
I've taken lessons. Yeah. I've bought ukuleles. I've taken lessons. I am not going to accepted it now. I am not going to learn how to play the guitar. Why? Because you know what? I am not willing to go through the chord progressions past the second lesson.
Yeah.
I just don't want it that bad. It just doesn't work for me. It's for whatever reason, it's a lot of, and I think there's a lot of pain involved, physical pain in learning the guitar that I'm not willing to go through to get to past the pain and actually be able to run through chord progressions and stuff that you're supposed to do. I just don't want to do it, and it's not worth it. It is worth it to fix an RV for some reason and to buy a piece of land.
I'm just, as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking about what's the real down, in my soul motivation for me being a part of what we do today. And you know what? It's actually not the money. I just realized I had a revelation with you right here, right now. It's not the money. You know what it is I want to work for myself. I want to have my own schedule. I want my own time. I know how to work hard and afford whatever I want. And I know when I can back off and chill and make it all work out just fine. I just realized that. So I think for you, if you first figure out what is the underlying theme of what do you want to accomplish? Do you want to get out of 9 to 5? Because Lord knows I did. I had 9 to 5 paycheck. I mean, time card, you had to punch a time card, like literally back in the day. And you could get fired if you were late. It was ridiculous. That's working for an airline. So I couldn't stand it. So that's really my underlying theme. So, and that's what motivates me and drives me. I will sit down and do as many deals as it takes so I don't ever have to do that again. And then along the way, I do kind of trick myself and reward myself with things like being able to afford this RV and take trips and take time off and maybe do a little spa things and, buy myself stuff when I want them. That's kind of nice, but that's not the underlying core thing for me. I'm going to reinforce what you're saying. I would live in a $30,000 mobile home on its own piece of land in West Texas, buying and selling one piece of real estate per year and be happy. Yeah.
What I would not do is live in an apartment in a city and have a job ever again. Mm-hmm. I spent a lot of years doing that. So my motivation is the same exact what you described as you, which is why this works.
True.
I think. But my way of doing it is make sure I have a ton of money in the bank so that
you take it to the next level.
When I truly am done, there's a bunch of dough there. Yeah. And that will happen.
It could happen. The goals keep changing.
It will happen.
Yeah, we'll get there someday. We're still having too much fun. That's it. That's
so if you're having trouble staying motivated, you probably don't want to play the guitar.
You got to pick something. You got to figure it out.
Yep.
And figure out what's motivating you.
Whatever's, and I have to tell you, go ahead, Joe.
I'll say most people that come to Land Academy too, they all say it's the money, but it's something else. They're like, I want to retire my wife. So it's not about the money. They need to make the money so she doesn't have to go to work. Check. I don't want to work this hard. I want to fish half the year.
Yeah. Fish half the year is good motivation.
Right.
I better do this real estate deal.
That's really it. Not the money. It's because you want to do that. So you got to figure out what that is and remind yourself that every single day. And when you're on that path, you celebrate it and it's going to keep pushing you forward. How's that?
I hate working. Mm-hmm. I love doing what we do. I don't think it's work.
True.
I just can't. I completely agree with you.
Thank you.
I think my final point is this. This generation's got it tough. They have access to every piece of information there ever was. And I think there's a lot of internet pressure for kids to do stuff that they don't want to do. And there's this very small percentage of people who should own companies. And right now it's expected of you at a certain age group to own your own company. It's just expected to have a side hustle, which I think is tomorrow's topic. Yep. You're expected to have a side hustle and then make it your lifelong career. That's silly. Good. There's a small percentage of people that are wired like that. Join us tomorrow where we discuss how to transition from a side hustle to full-time land investing. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.